Well, we are here. We are here. We are here.
Happy Thursday.
Happy
Or
Thursday.
as I say to my students, happy Friday Eve.
Happy Friday Eve.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Wow. I'm trying to run to the show here. Finally, I guess we are being. What did I say? We're off the Similac.
We're being weaned.
we're weaned. All right. Well, the last couple of times we weren't on live. Our show was being recorded because we were busy either doing some counseling some other place or just out taking care of the many other particular events that we're involved with. Am I right, Sharon?
Absolutely. And
Okay. You believe that?
that's,
I believe that too. But go ahead.
yes. And those are some of the things that we have to do sometime. But that's okay because it all works out in the wash. We missed you. Hope you missed us. But we're back and let's do this.
Okay. Okay. So what are we listening to? What is this show all about?
This is taking the journey together.
Taking the
And
journey together.
yes, and at taking the journey together, we've been calling it our mission, our motto. I think it's our mission.
You know what? We heard someone who watched our show and told us your show is not a what?
It's
What you just got to say the first
it's a
time?
mission.
It's a mission.
Yeah.
They said your show is a mission. So, hey, from now on, we're looking at a show as being a mission.
Yes,
And what is our mission, by the way?
our mission
Is to go
states
where no man or woman has ever went before.
exactly into a strictly thriving relationship.
Exactly.
Now, what we believe at taking the journey together is that um, we are going to relate. It doesn't matter what your mother, father, sister, brother. It doesn't even matter what Jesus says. We are going to relate. But at taking the journey together, we believe in helping people to understand how to relate in a balanced way. And with that balanced way, what we expect or what we teach or what we try to inspire
Well, which one is it? Make my mind up.
all of the same, all of
All the above.
yes, is for you to begin the relationship as a friend, and as you build that friendship relationship, it and have it grow into something more permanent, more
Mm-hmm.
committed,
Yes.
then you build it into that lovership.
Yes.
And as you build it into that lovership, what you end up having is a relationship in which you have a friend and a lover all in one person. And that relationship becomes a thriving relationship because you have something to always build on.
Wow, I like that. Just was talking to the guy across the street. He said, "Well, I have been married all these particular years, and he's a young fella too. I talk with once in a while, and he says, but the relationship of the marriage I have, I guess we're kind of like opposites, and opposites attract." And I said, "Well, you know what? I think." And then, at least that's what I know, that when I met Sharon, I said, we need to try to be mostly friends because friends are better than just opposites when it
Yes.
comes to a relationship, especially if you want a long term relationship. He looked at me and then he looked me back and said, you know what? I guess you're right about it because you got to have someone to be able to talk to. I said, yeah, when you get old and you lose all the tricks
And you have
and
those
all the
Cialis
entertainments,
moments.
what do you have left to do?
You have the Cialis moments where you talk.
Exactly. So it's definitely important that friendship shows that you got some ability to be able to talk with one another in the long run. Yeah,
Yes, and that's very important.
and not fuss with yourself either
Not
and the other
every
person,
day.
but
Yeah.
you at least have a conversation that's worthwhile that you two
Hmm.
feel fulfilling or able to pour into each other some good knowledge and
Yes.
information. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that is absolutely true and important. And with that said,
Mm-hmm.
that is when you become hot.
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 Yes. That button.
Yes.
That button
Yes.
right there.
So you can see yours real well.
Okay.
But that's when you are hot.
And what does hot stand for? Put my glasses down
Hot
so I can't see.
is honest. I'll do it on you.
Mhm.
Honest, open, and transparent.
Okay.
And that's what you need to be in your relationship
Show that button
in
a little
order.
closer. Ooh,
Well,
upside up.
there
There it is.
it is. And
Yeah.
that's what you need to be in order to have a thriving relation. Easy for me to say, right?
It's
A thriving, healthy
to
relationship.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
that's where my ADD comes in because you were moving it and I was
I'm watching
following
it.
it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, I got to stop that. I got get
Okay.
control. Get
Uh,
control.
well, you actually lose control, and
Yeah.
you allow the energy that is in you that has to do with your relationship, and the love for it, of course. And therefore, you look at the whole purpose and reason behind it. So, when that moved in front of it, you knew the purpose and reason. It's not just to look at it; it
Yes.
was to allow people to see and know. And once you tell a little bit more on that note about what is that button going to be used for, what can it be used for, and if they are able to purchase it or not. Go ahead.
Yes. The buttons are for a reason. It's not just a button just to be a button.
But
We
who's got the button?
we
It's
got
not
the
that.
buttons, and you can get the buttons, and you can have a button.
Mm-hmm.
The buttons are $5 each, and they are um, going to help support ATR.
Mm-hmm.
We would like for you to purchase it, and you can walk around and let everybody know that you are hot in your relationship, and or you believe in being in a hot relationship, and you can get a button. You have the thing. You can get a button,
I'm
but
trying to get the information up that we had up there that
yes,
talked about the button, and it's here someplace. Here it is. There it is. Look
there it
below. You can see
is.
it right there.
Yes, and you can get a button by emailing us at ttjt at takingthejourney-together.com.
Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
ttjt at takingthejourney-together.com.
All right. So we want you to go text your friends, text your family, text your enemies, text the man on the moon or the woman that's on Saturn. Text everybody because we got a good topic. We had a topic that when we went live, and those who looked at it more than once, to listen to it more than once, it was also good. What did we talk about? Men's what?
Um, feelings.
That's
Feelings.
all, folks.
Yeah, no, I was trying to remember the topic, and that was
Hey,
all
when
wrong.
it
It was
comes
men's
to
feelings, and the
trying to
fact,
understand men's feelings, that was just
yes,
what a woman would do.
yes.
I don't remember that.
No, I did remember, but I was trying to remember the
Oh,
exact
please,
wording of the
please.
topic, which was stupid.
Then
But yeah,
that's
and
the
it
thing
was
about
it
it.
was
Men
men's.
are not given the perception that they have a right to
Hmm.
their feelings, unless
Yes,
they're
and
angry.
that's why it was so. And
Unless
then
they're
and
angry.
if they're angry,
Unless they're angry.
nobody wants to be around them
Well,
angry.
well, if
So
not,
yeah,
they'll make sure that their anger is known so that you know that
yes,
they're there. What a way to, in terms of express yourself in a
yeah.
loving way, which is not.
Yep. And
But
then it
yet,
becomes
hey,
another negative
yeah,
stereotype that is attached to men,
exactly,
especially black men.
exactly. Well, sometimes people think love is connected to pain, and pain is love.
Yeah, but it's
So it
not.
becomes one in the same,
Yeah.
sadly. So all
Yes.
the rest of the emotions that a man can have, care, be enthusiastic, laughter, love, tenderness, is just pretty much lost
Yes.
in the
Absolutely.
crowd. Oh, we got someone who's got a comment. Let's see what they got to say. Oh, Miss Latita Jackson, hello. How are you doing? Good to see you on the show. At the same time, hey, make sure that you say something. Got a lot of respect for a very deep sister on things that have to do with relationships and spiritual
And
insight too. At
and,
the same
and
time,
spirits in general.
yes, she does.
Yes.
She really
Yes.
does. So we're glad to see you on the show. Hopefully, you'll enjoy this one as we talk about what is our subject. Come to think of it, Sharon. I'm trying to get to it real quickly here.
Our subject is caring versus evasiveness. A lot of us think that we're very caring people,
Mm-hmm.
but we're only caring within our own space, within our own energy, within our own
I
um
said carrying or invasive, but anyway, yeah, yeah.
yeah, but
Oh, go ahead.
same
Yeah,
thing.
same thing. Same thing. You
Um
say tomato, I say tomato, and yeah.
exactly. Either or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to roll with it
Yeah.
because the important thing is where we end up,
Mm-hmm.
not where we start.
Yes.
Okay. So you're either caring or evasive.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was saying, that we always, you know, I I can say I care so much for this man. This man is just a wonderful person, and I wouldn't trade him for anything in the world or
Mm-hmm.
out of the world. But that doesn't mean that I am really as caring as I should be. I can
Or could
say,
be.
or could be.
Yes.
I can say I care for
Mm-hmm.
him, and I can even take care of him. But am I taking care of him emotionally? Am I taking care of him spiritually? Am I taking care of him on any level that he needs it? And quite often, the answer is not the way I should, not the way I could, or even no, not really.
Well, besides you just filleting yourself in front of everybody else right now, let's look at this: the caring and evasiveness in a relationship.
That was general terms.
Yeah, that was your terms talking about yourself. That's what that was. You didn't have to be fillet yourself like that in open, even though hot is
but
what we try
but
to
it,
push. Honesty, open, and transparent.
yeah.
But I want to look at the definition behind it,
Hmm.
and then
Yeah.
we can move into things
Hmm.
like that, because this will probably be more than one topic. Because a
Yeah.
lot of times in relationships, that's what people do.
Yeah.
They either are very caring or they're very evasive.
Hmm.
And we're going to find out that evasiveness is not a form of caring, but
Yeah.
that happens a lot in
Because people
relationships.
will see themselves as being caring a lot quicker than they will see themselves being evasive.
Hmm.
And a lot of people don't even put evasiveness in within the terms of the relationship
Hmm.
where they can even
Yeah, they're saying
consider
they're
dealing with it.
saying that they're being like sometimes you've said, I'm more overt, not overt. No, no, no,
Covert. No.
no. You know, a person that sticks to themselves.
Oh, I'm introvert.
Introvert.
Yes.
And I want to make sure Latito is it Latino. I keep saying one. Yeah, I think it is. I want her to make sure that she chimes in because she has such a deep knowledge in the area of psychology and spiritual psychology too.
Hmm.
So sometimes when we talk about those who are what's the word again? Not over covert. What's the other word? You
I
said it the first time when you're
Oh,
to
oh,
yourself.
introvert.
Introvert. Thank
Okay,
you,
see, you
introvert.
keep saying
What was
covert,
it
and that
was?
throws
I'm
me off.
talking
Okay,
fast, but please
okay,
stay with
okay.
me.
Well,
Okay.
yes, I
So
am.
because you've said before you're introvert.
I
So
have.
so
I
that
have found that I'm not,
exactly,
but
exactly.
I used to think that I
I gave
was.
you some understanding that just
Yes.
because you're highly sensitive doesn't necessarily
Yeah.
mean that you're introvert. But
Yes.
introvert people many times will be evasive when it comes to them wanting to confront the world or
Mm-hmm.
confront people
Yes.
or
Yes.
confront things in the
Right.
relationship.
Right.
Is what we're talking about is relationship. So many times evasiveness means that you can get people that won't answer questions,
Mm-hmm.
they won't ask questions, they deflect the question, they
Right.
shift the blame, they change the topic, or the answers are very superficial,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Or
or
vague.
vague, and they don't really even answer the question that you even ask.
Right.
Sometimes they will give a pushback. That pushback will be their answer that is a statement that doesn't even answer what you
Mm-hmm.
asked them in the first
Yeah.
place.
And on another level where we can see where we get to that a lot
Hmm.
is when you say to people, and these are some terms that we've heard a lot,
Hmm.
that will explain that, or people will be able to say, yeah, I recognize that. When
Hmm.
you say you're beating around the bush,
Yes,
or
yes,
or that's just a lot of BS that you're talking.
exactly,
That's the same thing as far as you know you're dealing with somebody who's being evasive about that
exactly.
particular subject or topic, or that moment, whatever is going on in that moment.
Sometimes the statement is just as smooth as, "Well, I'll let you know if I can come or not." how
Yes.
about how about where the rubber meets the road? You
Exactly.
hear that all the time. Oh, I
Yes.
forgot. Okay,
Uh-huh.
I forgot. It
Yeah.
happened over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
We want to real quickly. I'm going to show a video of example of someone who basically was like that, very strongly like that, and she's going to give her testimony, and she's going to give us what she thought and what she has actually how can I say experienced,
Mm-hmm.
and from there tell us what she says what it really is
Yes.
in this area. So let me see if I can real quickly go through the process of sharing the screen. How do you do, Sharon? Share the screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's not
Well,
the screen we want to
no, it
share.
isn't.
What? It's a tab. Which tab is it?
It is let's see. And see, this is what happens when you think you have everything
Oh,
together.
there it
There
is.
it is. We thought we
Okay.
had it, and there we
So
have it.
we're going to have you watch this. So stay back, everybody watch it and listen.
A lot of relationships operating in survival. I left my husband like 4 times operating off of survival. Um, it is so important to unlearn those toxic things that you had to utilize in certain situations to get you by. You have to unlearn it. You cannot, you will ruin yourself, your life, your kids, the people around you right? If you do not unlearn those toxic traits and behaviors, I used to run. I ran from anything, anything. You fucked with me, I'm out. You hurt me, I'm out. I don't got to deal with nothing. Then I started running in my marriage, and I realized, why are you running? What are you so afraid of? I hate being hurt. I hate feeling like I'm out of control. And that caused me to ruin a lot of good relationships, good friendships, and almost ruin my marriage. That's it. That's the post.
Okay, let me stop that. There. What you think about that, Sharon? What you just got through listening from this young lady who gave this testimony, being hot about her relationship and where she was at, and sometimes where she was not at in
Mhm.
that relationship. What's your feelings?
My feelings are that a lot of people can relate to that. I am one that can relate to that. Running is one of those things that you do without knowing you're doing it. You, and sometimes running does not mean that you get up and you pack or you physically leave. Running sometimes means that you are um, emotionally unavailable. It sometimes means that you physically hide in plain sight,
Mm.
if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to understand that running, as she was speaking, is not necessarily in the literal. It's when if you ghost somebody because they are doing something that you don't appreciate or you don't care for, that's running. And a lot of people will do that for the sake of, well, I didn't feel the right way, it didn't make me feel like I needed to feel,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't bother to explain to the person how they felt, why they felt that way, and what
Mm-hmm.
they did that caused them to feel that way. So
Mm-hmm.
they just ghost them. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think what she said, if we all take a closer, deeper look at her statement, we can see aspects of us within it. We can see aspects of ourselves within it. You can see aspects of your partner within it, aspects of your relationship that is being jagged or becoming jagged because of that. And pointing fingers are not the thing to do, but it is good to sit down and talk about it if you're in a hot relationship. And if you're not in a hot relationship, that's another whole ball of wax to talk about.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Again, would love to have Latita. Let me put her up there. I know she's there. Latita, Miss Jackson. Let's call her. Sorry, Miss Jackson. I know you're for real. We'd love to have you give us your spiritual and professional insight. What do you think and what you feel about that short testimony? This lady telling her story when it came to her relationship, and
mhm,
what part was it that she knew she didn't put in? I was telling Sharon too at the same time. Was she with a bad boy? Maybe he wasn't a bad boy since she was married to him. A lot of times we think of bad boys in a relationship like that of being the one that's not married, but the guy on the side. But yet at the same time he could have been. But one thing is for sure, she knew where she
yeah.
was bad at,
And that's what,
and presenting that toxicity into that
yeah, and
relationship.
that's what I was trying to allude to. She didn't point a finger at him. We know nothing about him. We know that she understands what was going on with her. She's coming to terms and working at coming to terms with that so that she can make a change. She can't tell him to make a change. It has to be something that person is ready to do.
And of course, I know Miss Jackson would say in her time and her way. Well, obviously that
Yeah,
was her time,
it was.
and that was her way to actually share
Yes,
that
yes,
openly,
right.
and in front of whoever is her friend, on Facebook. I think that's where I
It was
got it, and it was
TikTok.
sent to TikTok.
Yeah, it was a TikTok.
At that, what a way to put that on TikTok in that kind of way. You like think of TikTok was never being something that someone would be open with on TikTok. You know, it's like that would be like not really entertainment. Not
Yeah.
really. That would be, what is it? Bleeding, leading, or violent, or anything like that.
Right.
So
I
it's definitely not going to be a dance. That's
no,
one thing for sure.
that's for
So
sure.
I was
Yeah.
very surprised like that. So where are we running to many times? She's talking about she ran 4 times in the relationship. Where are we running to? What are the things that people are running from? What are some of the things, Sharon, that she said that she was running from?
She's running from being hurt.
Yes.
Nobody likes to be hurt. And sometimes you get hurt so many times that you just can't deal with it again. And
Mm-hmm.
so when you feel it coming on, and it may be actually coming from you, but when you feel it coming on, you're going to run from it because the handwriting's on the wall, been there, done that,
Mm-hmm.
got the t-shirt, don't want another.
Yeah.
Or being messed with. And a lot of times people mess with us just because.
And did you hear what she said? If any,
Anybody.
she didn't say something,
Yeah,
not
and she did,
some.
and
She said if she get anybody,
and
any human being
exactly.
gives her the feeling that something ain't whatever it is with her,
Mhm.
she like, I'm gone.
Yes, and she was not just talking about her partner in relationship.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was talking about across the board.
Yeah.
Her best friend, her best enemy, her,
Mm-hmm.
just her acquaintances, the people she worked with. She did not, when she said anybody, that did not leave a soul out that she would come in contact with and go into relationship on some level with.
Yeah. What do some other people feel about that particular portion? Because a lot of us are getting this talk from gurus, are getting this talk from counselors, getting this talk from friends and anybody else on the internet or from radio, TV, whatever. That if anybody in your relationship makes you feel bad, makes you feel uncomfortable, boom, time to bounce,
Yeah.
time to go, time to run, trying to avoid.
Because it's real easy for us to say to people that we know or people that we consider our friends,
Mm-hmm.
you deserve better than that.
Yeah.
And it's easy to say that when you get in one side of the story, but to every story, there are two sides. It's like, each coin has two sides. Everything has two sides, including the stories of relationships. There are two sides to them. So if I'm giving you my side of the story, the other thing about that,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to make myself look as bad as I actually am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to look at this through my eyes, and through my eyes, I've got some rosy colored glasses on. So, of course, my friend is going to say, you deserve better than that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but maybe I'm getting what I'm giving.
Yes.
Maybe his actions or that other person's actions are a reflection of my
And
actions.
you drew that person to you. and
Yeah,
and you may have never thought that, hey, that was karma, that this person is representing the tool of karma to in turn help wake me up by looking at the man or woman in the mirror,
yeah,
and I'm really getting a reflection of how and who I am, and I
exactly.
keep on running from my reflection of who I am,
And
and not facing up that this is me.
mhm.
I'm the person in the mirror. I need to deal with me.
Yeah, and that's the problem. When we are seeing that, we're in denial, and we
Yeah.
have to, uh, you know, denial is not something easily to come out of.
Mm-hmm.
You understand and admit that there's a problem way before you can understand and admit the depths of the problem, so you can and get to the point where you can start dealing
Yeah,
with it.
I will say to you, I think Miss Jackson put this one time on her site about sometimes the lesson for you to learn can only learn it through the lesson. I'm not saying it right. She probably, if she wanted to, can text that to us so we can say it correctly. We know it's a saying that's wise, that comes from many of times and many of eon years from people who've lived the same thing before, but it pretty much is the same thing. The lesson that maybe you have to learn, you have to live through the lesson.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not something you're just going to
Yes,
catch all of a sudden, even though
exactly.
some people do catch
Yeah.
some prolific things
Mm-hmm.
and they can have a real change
Right,
overnight.
right.
But some people, that lesson to be learned, they're going to have to live through that
Mhm.
lesson. And that living through the lesson is that learning process for
Yes.
them to learn.
Not every time are you going to be blindsided, where it just hits you in the head and goes right
Well, I hope I
through you.
wouldn't be blindsided.
No. What I
hope it'd
mean
be
is,
excited.
what I mean is, you don't see it coming, but all of a
Mhm.
sudden you get that wake up, and it's
Okay.
like, oh my gosh,
Mm-hmm.
this is what I am looking like in other people's
Aha
eyes.
moment, huh?
Exactly.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's like, oh no, or more than that, oh no, this I can't
The
keep
church
doing
would say,
this.
ouch.
Yeah. Yeah, they say that in poetry too.
Yeah. Oh, they
Yeah.
do. Don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Wow. Wow. Yeah. It could be any one of those, or a combination of a combination of all of them too at the same
Exactly.
time. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
So I we don't want to keep on doing the talking. Our show, we always want you to speak up and speak what you're saying too. At the same time, what you feel about a topic, caring, innovation. As you know, we also have our coaching. What
We are relationship coaches. We
exactly?
have our relationship coaching certificate. We're gonna have to pull them up sometime
Exactly. I'm gonna pull the mic
and
a little bit over because it's too high because you're so
okay.
short. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So therefore, when you text us, I'm going to show you not a text, but I'm going to show you right here. Where is it at? I know it's up here someplace. I'm going to get it real
Of
soon.
course you are
There it is,
because
right
they're
here. Thriving
see
relationships online. That's on WUU, so we don't want that one. We want this one right here.
yeah.
Okay, taking the journey here. We have our website address, but you can always go to Facebook or go to email address. You've got any concerns or questions about your relationships, or there are things that you figure you have a goal you're trying to move to in your
Mhm.
relationship. Hopefully, a thriving, healthy
Right.
relationship that we can help you with those goals. We'd be glad
Mhm.
to talk to you. We have some tools and questions that we can give you, help you about. We got many also deeper counselors that also can help us and help you out so that you can move towards a thriving and balanced relationship, because that's what taking the journey is all about.
Right.
We're not here just to pontificate, or how you may say,
Pontificate.
and just run our mouths and then openly talk about all of our dirty laundry, but we're all about trying to help you to move to that better
Yeah.
relationship. And again, that better or that best or that blessed or that balanced relationship is all about the lessons you learn
Mhm.
as you go
Yes.
through and pick up
Yes.
those things in life to in turn help you grow and help you expand.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And and as far as what you said about sharing our dirty laundry, we are in our second marriage.
Okay.
And so for that
Is
to
it three
be
strikes out? Is that the deal now
not
in this
anymore.
country? Three strikes out?
Not
First strike,
anymore.
second? Okay.
Only in
Oh.
baseball now.
Oh.
Other than that, it's
No, I'm
just
going to go to jail thing. It's three. I mean, I think Clinton was the one that let it. Anyway, don't worry about it.
yeah, whatever. Anyway.
Well, we're going to say three strikes, you're in.
Yes.
If it didn't work in the first marriage, second one, hopefully third time around. Some people will say, if it didn't work in your first lifetime, you might come back as a squirrel in the next lifetime. And the next lifetime, you come back who you want to, and then it works out.
Yes.
Karma.
Well, we're going to do it this time, the second time. But where I was going with that
Mhm.
is, you know, this is our second marriage. If we didn't
Mhm.
learn anything from, moving out of the first one,
Mhm.
then we should not be in this position.
Mm.
The good, the bad, we weren't perfect. We were not perfect in okay, I'm going to speak for me. I was
Mhm.
not perfect in my last
No,
relationship.
well, neither was
I
I.
was not the only one that was not perfect in the relationship, but that's beside the point.
Mhm.
I recognize my imperfections. I'm dealing with my imperfections. I'm admitting to my imperfections one by one by one.
As they come into manifestation.
Exactly.
So many
Exactly.
layers that we've lived with.
Hmm.
Some of them are historical layers from our
Yes.
ancestors. Some of them are from our generations layers,
Hmm.
and then we have our own community
Yeah.
layers, and then we have, of course, the culture that we in, country, and so on and so
Hmm.
forth. And they become the layers that we are learning. We got to learn how to unlearn. She was
Right.
talking about, I have
Exactly.
to unlearn these
Unlearn.
things. And the word that
Yeah.
we've been escaping all along is that she talked about her evasiveness, her running. It
Hmm.
was toxic.
Yes.
How many
Yeah.
people think that if I'm running away from in my relationship, that I really am being toxic? Most of the time it's thought of, if I'm in that relationship, I'm running, it's the other
Yeah.
person who's
Who's
being
toxic.
toxic that's
And I'm
causing me
being
to run.
proactive.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
called a being run.
Yeah.
So that was a flip of a script for us, that
Hmm.
we need to understand that if you're being evasive and you're running in a relationship, then you are the one that's being toxic. Now, we're not going to get into, because we don't know what the other side is, but
Right.
we do know that if it's a balanced or healthy relationship that you will move into, or you are trying to create to be in, the togetherness and unity is the balancing being there.
Hmm.
If in turn you are trying to escape or run from that, or be evasive of that, then you know you are the toxic person in that relationship. And no, we're not talking about the relationship meaning you're perfect and you're always going to get along. We're not even talking about that.
No.
Don't even
No.
exist. We're referring to the balanced part, that healthy part. When someone in a relationship is not being healthy in a relationship, and they're doing that by always trying to be evasive, always trying to run,
Yeah.
they're being toxic to the
Very much
relationship.
so.
Exactly. So run into some. What are some of the places that sometimes people run into?
They will run into the arms of another man or woman.
Yes, that's the usual one.
That's the
That's the
usual
first
one.
thing when you hear.
Yes.
You know, get a girl on the phone or a man on the phone that says, "I know he ain't treating you right." Oh, I know she ain't treating you right. So she
Yeah.
starts itching, saying those things that itch you in your ear, make you feel good, and
Mhm.
you know what goes on from there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or some
Mm-hmm.
people run into the kids, and what I mean by that is
Mm-hmm.
the kids become the center of their energy, and
Yes.
so everything is pulled away from and we're talking relationships here. Everything is pulled away from the other partner and focused on to the children, or sometimes people will run to the family. It's like, okay, I'm not interested in what's going on here, but
Because my
my
family's more
family
important.
is a safe place for me,
Yeah,
and so that's
or
where
my
I'm going to
family's more
be.
important. I
Yeah.
mean, I knew of a relationship that I was in years ago, and this particular lady who I was with in the relationship, what was doing anyway, relationship with, her family was important. In fact, her mom was very, very important. That was like the center of attention to all the family. So she couldn't do nothing. She couldn't say anything unless she got a decision from her mom
Wow.
in that relationship. And she had 3 kids, I think it was. But yet she was still rolling like that.
Yeah.
Without her
Mhm.
mom, she couldn't say anything. You can imagine how uncomfortable that was. That when
Oh
I
yeah.
would bring up something or say something that needs to be done and needs to be instrumented, especially with implemented, especially with her children, she would give the person, no, no, that's not how we did it before. That's not
Mhm.
how my
Yeah.
mom did it before.
Yeah.
Or let me call mom and see what she thinks about it.
Yeah.
And so that means she was pretty much avoiding what I was saying,
Yeah.
pretty much saying, I don't pay attention to anything you say, Negro,
Yes. Yeah,
because you ain't
exactly.
my mama.
Yeah.
So, and this how this should roll.
I had a friend like that, and I had never heard or seen anything like this,
Mm-hmm.
which was this detrimental. But she married this guy, and his mother was into everything, right down to where they would get married, when they would get married, what he would wear when they got married,
Mm-hmm.
the apartment that they would live in.
Mm-hmm.
They chose an apartment. She didn't like it. She talked him into getting another apartment that my friend did not like.
Mm-hmm.
And she was going to be living there. She chose some of the furniture for their apartment,
Mm-hmm.
and all of that.
Wow.
And she had all of these, everything. Well, my mom likes this, and so we're going to do this. And she was just like, I can't deal with this anymore.
Yeah, one of the ways to avoid. Hey,
Yeah.
we'll quickly because we're at the halfway portion. I'm on the halfway portion. We're going to start something a little bit different. Hopefully, our director in the background won't mind it. I'm gonna kind of control it just a little bit, even though it's really important for have him in the background and control it, especially throwing out those special sponsors. And now we're looking at some special people who want to be state senators who are important from the standpoint of our community, dealing with our schools. Love that. Love that as being part of ATR. We're so glad to be
Yes.
part of this channel, this great channel, starting small, but it's going to be big. But real quickly, just giving us a little what is called positivity, if you may want to say. We do a relationship show on WRUU 107.5 on Saturdays. What time in the morning again?
9 o'clock in the morning.
Been doing it
every Saturday morning.
Been doing it for the last 55 years now. How long? Seem like it.
It's actually been about 2.5 years.
It
We
is.
started at the end of 2019.
9 to 10 a.m. for those who are watching this in New
Or
Zealand or listening in Nigeria. I was talking to a Nigeria, that lady that does your ears and ring and stuff that's at the mall. She's from
Yes.
Nigeria, isn't she?
Yes. No. She's from Ghana.
Ghana, yes. So we have some people who are listening from other parts of the country. So please listen to us there. Also, too, we already talked about you can go to Taking the Journey, of course, and check a look on our website. and things that we do. We're always looking to be able to do our Taking the Journey Wow Night.
Yes.
So we're looking for folks who are going to help us out to actually find a good place, a good dining place, especially in the Savannah community where we can do our Wow Night. I'm telling you, you're going to love that night. Is now better. People are now trying to get out more. We need to find a good restaurant out there where we on a weekend can let you get away, bring your wife, bring your girlfriend, and enjoy our Wild Night. It's something that
Yes.
really will get you together, put you together more, learn some things about you didn't learn before, and you really would enjoy our Wild Night.
Yes.
It's not going to cost too much to whatsoever. So please, if you could email us either here or call us here at this beautiful ATR network, or get a hold of us. It's coming up here right now, and the website or email address ttjt at takingthejourney-together.com. Again, ttjt at takingthejourney-together.com. Please email us and let us know. We'll be glad to talk to the restaurant, see if we can put something together and help your relationship out so that it can also grow at the same time.
Yeah.
What
And what
else are we going to
and
be
what
doing real
well,
quickly?
some people don't know what a wild night is.
Okay.
A wild night is really a date night.
Yes.
It's when you get a babysitter or whatever you need, and just come out with that person that you love or that you're building with, and do things to enhance the relationship you have. So it's a special date night event that we have.
Yes, we're working on right now trying to hopefully put together a nice date night. We can sit back and relax at a campground that's owned by a black woman, even at that.
Yes.
So we'll be working on it this weekend. Hopefully, sometime in the future, be able to come to a nice time to come down and relax. Bring your camper if you got to, or camp
Your
if you
tents
can,
or
or
whatever.
just come out and enjoy yourself. We have some nice, good, smooth jazz music, and at the same time, something you can, funny do some dancing where you're actually dancing together, not to separate from one another.
Yeah.
And we'll have some good speakers there to talk to you about how to keep the relationship together.
Mhm.
Ultimate one we're looking at going to. We got someone who's talking to us to take the journey way over to Hawaii.
Yeah.
Hawaii too, coming out sometime this year. So we're looking for some great things to pass on this knowledge, this element, this blessing to others so that they can move into a more healthy, more balanced relationship
Mhm.
and work on that. You ain't doing nothing else anyway. No, I'm just joking. From that hand. So let's get back to where we were at.
Yes.
Where were we at?
We were talking about where people
Kids?
run.
Kids?
Yes, they run into the kids.
Family?
Family.
How about the other one that's typical?
Uh,
Drugs and
Drugs.
alcohol.
Yeah, drugs and
Wow.
alcohol.
Yeah.
And that's the one that can be quicker detrimentally than some of the others.
Yes.
Because that can really get out of hand, especially if you have a naturally addictive personality.
Mm-hmm.
That can be all bad. But people also run into their jobs. They become workaholics.
Exactly.
Oh, I'll get to the family when I get to the family, but I got to do this job. It's paying the bills. That's always the excuse. Got to keep a roof over everybody's head. And I'm not just saying that. I changed my voice, but that's not just a man's voice. That is just that. Women are just as guilty of that.
Exactly. I got to stop real quickly.
Okay. Uh-oh.
It was, you said not just a man's voice.
No, because
your voice was trying to be like a man.
No, I changed it, but what I realized is it sounded deeper.
Okay.
And because I said I can't do it anymore. I don't know.
I didn't get fooled by that.
Okay. Well, okay, good, because it sounded much deeper to me. I don't know.
That was funny. I just thought it was funny when you did. I'm like, what the heck? Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Maybe y'all didn't think so, but I did. Hey, by the way, if you do have a question, no question is stupid. You've got an opinion about what we're talking about because we want to stay on the subject. Please don't be afraid to make a comment. We'll put your comment up. We usually have our usual who do, though I know we have not been live for a little while,
Yeah.
but this one is live. So you get a chance to be able to put your comment up. People can see it. And we'll talk about it too. Again, staying on our subject. So drugs, jobs. Ooh, what about the next one that a lot of people are going to kind of cringe over? What would that mean that they're going to cringe over?
Church.
Woo,
Because you go to
religion,
church, everything's
yes.
going to be all right. But if you go to church and you don't do anything different but go to church, you're still going to be dealing with the same thing. But there are people who want to get away from from what's going on in home or wherever.
Mhm.
And what they will
They
do,
bury themselves in
they
church
bury in
life
church, because church is the answer.
to them.
It is, as long as you do something to help it
I,
along.
I always, no, I would always say, so how's it really working
Yeah,
when you get back home?
yeah,
How has it been working
exactly.
when you got back home?
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, really,
yeah.
really.
And the people, a lot of people do that. They go to church on Sunday, to Sunday school and
Hmm.
11 o'clock service and
Hmm.
evening
I did.
service, and they go
I
to
did.
Wednesday
I know you did
service.
too.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. Those days got long, and I
Hmm.
remember when I no longer wanted to do that.
And your grandmother, your mom spanked you a little hiney when you try
No,
to
they
move
did
around.
not.
Oh, well, you were a good girl.
I was.
Remember that we talked about before? You were
Yes.
one of those good girls.
No, you know what I would do,
What?
and thank you, Mama. She
Hmm.
always had um uh pen or paper, and I would
Hmm.
sit and I would write, because that was my thing.
Oh, okay.
But what I
Why
realized,
am I in here
yeah,
sitting there all this time when I could be at home playing? I don't understand this.
yes, but writing was always my escape.
Hmm.
Nobody knew that that was my
Oh, so we should
escape.
have put that up there.
Yeah,
Another way to avoid. And
yes,
and you do that too, even
yeah.
now.
I
Yeah,
still
right.
do that now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but I sometimes, some good things come out of my writing sometimes.
Hmm.
But that was my thing. I would write and get myself lost in time, and the next thing I know, the preacher's getting to his high point, and the
Hmm.
the you know the clapping and everything is starting, and I'm
Hmm.
like, okay, I can put this away now, because I'll be, it's almost over.
Exactly.
You
I
know,
think the big thing that you're trying to say is we're trying to say balance.
yeah,
A thriving relationship is all about balance. If you're thinking that kids, family, drugs, church, even another man or woman, because it could be friends, of course,
mm-hmm.
is wrong. We're not. We're saying that when it becomes out of balance in the
Yes,
relationship,
yes,
out of balance,
mm-hmm.
that out of balance is this particular case, as we're referring to, you're being so far involved with that,
Mm-hmm.
you leave out your
Yeah,
relationship that you're in now. And when you are being dealt with the fact of why you're going to church every day, since we're on that topic,
mm-hmm.
why you're always there all the time, I love God and all that other good stuff, and yet you're not at all presenting that and bringing that home to the husband,
Right,
or the husband ain't presenting it to the wife or the kids, then you are out of balance.
right,
And when you in turn speak those things, I got to go there, I got to go do this, I got to do this, I got to be there every time church door, you are avoiding the subject.
mm-hmm.
You're avoiding that.
Yes,
And that's what we're talking about.
mm-hmm.
And as she said, since we haven't used the word but once, when you're in that avoiding mode, you are being toxic to the relationship.
Yes.
I say again, you are being toxic to
Mm-hmm.
that relationship. That relationship is about both you communicating with one another,
Right,
not someone running from the other person in the relationship.
right,
It is about you communicating, connecting with one another, using bridge statements, all that other stuff can happen because the relationship is not perfect.
mm-hmm.
But when you do that part in the relationship, you are being toxic in that relationship. Yeah.
Absolutely.
How about the last one, Sharon?
Oh, I'm trying to get my toes up off the ground so that they don't get
So you can
stepped on
float?
too much.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
The other place that you run to is into yourself.
Oh,
And I
okay.
am so guilty of that. I can withdraw and just like, it's just like I become an energy vacuum, and I suck all my
That's
energy
that. That's the
inside.
introvert that you talked
Yeah,
about, that you
yeah,
handled in such a way that you thought that was the best way for your understanding of why
yeah.
you were so sensitive to the
Mm-hmm.
outside world.
Mm-hmm.
And so the only best thing you could do is, oh, let me get into
Yeah.
my own self. And that's
I,
it.
I I would I would do that, and
Hmm.
and that, I would have been able to cope with it a lot better had I
Hmm.
understood it at a lot younger age.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, and that's why I decided or realized that I'm not an introvert, because I love being around people. Just
Hmm.
some people are
Well, every day
just
you're a teacher talking about being around people. They're little people, but they're still people.
some of them are
and
bigger
and
than
they, and
me
they, and
now.
they and they love you to death from that end. So
Yes.
that means you must be able to pass information on to them for them to understand. We got our new God grandchildren, and they call you Gigi. They love you
Yeah.
to death. They're quiet as can be right now.
And
But
I
anyway,
I
um,
love them too. And
exactly.
it feels like we have known them forever.
It
It's been
does.
a short time, but they have wiggled their little ways right into our hearts.
Certainly they have. Certainly they have. So you could find out. You can see
Oh, wait a minute.
that's not what that is.
If
What?
if I'm Gigi,
Mm-hmm.
you got to get this one.
Oh,
instead of grandpa or something like that, they call him grandmaster. Now, how do you think that? Yeah.
Hey, that's what they call me, Grandmaster.
And
I'm thinking about Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five or whatever that was, that rap group. But that's what they call me, Grandmaster. I'm like, okay, I need to put on my long Asian suit that I
no,
have on
I'm
and
gonna,
carry my long staff and go, you get in the corner, we're going to have to chop chop,
I'm gonna get
which
you.
is stereotype. But
You,
anyway,
it is, but I'm gonna get you.
except for if you go through Wu-Tang Clan. The Wu-Tang,
Wu-Tang
yeah,
Clan.
Wu-Tang, they were very much involved with martial.
Oh
Of
yeah,
course, a lot
yeah,
of us were because of Bruce Lee. Come on.
yes. But I tell you, I'm gonna get you a T-shirt
Mm-hmm.
saying "Just call me Grandmaster."
Oh man, I have to get used to it. They get mad at me when I don't call myself that. I mean, they can look at me all mad. Like, we called you that. It was really the mom that came up with it. Really, be honest with you.
But they chose it.
Yeah, they did. They did.
She mentioned it some time back.
Somebody in
But
California she knew of.
but they understood your energy and your
Mm-hmm.
spirit as we kind of count children out sometime
Mm-hmm.
of knowing and seeing things.
Yes.
And they understood that it fit you. It
Yes.
fit you. It's giving reverence to you.
Definitely. Definitely. Well, I won't avoid it then. Wow.
I
Wow.
love it.
So,
I love the uniqueness of it.
so the part that has to do with yourself that you avoid.
Yes.
I'm thinking about one word that happens. We know this is toxicity.
And it starts with an E.
No.
Okay.
No. No.
right.
No. The side that's the balance to bring that healing to you is trying to be more authentic.
Oh yeah.
Being more authentic.
Yeah. And that's I have a workbook. I should have a workbook of what needs to be worked on because I'm a work in progress. I will admit that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much for your help.
Mm-hmm.
But that is definitely one of those areas that a lot of us don't think about.
Mm-hmm.
Even when in the midst of us thinking that we are so caring about someone else,
Mm-hmm.
we don't pay attention to whether or not we're being authentic within the realm of that caring. And um that can throw things off a lot.
Yes, it definitely. Some of us don't even know who our authentic self is anyway. We haven't
Right.
took our time to find out who we are.
Or even know that we should.
Exactly. And so when you think about it, that's probably one of the biggest point of evasion. In fact, that's probably what I think the root
Mm-hmm.
of all of this when it comes to evasion
Yes.
is first your relationship with you.
Mm-hmm.
And you're avoiding trying to find out who you are
Yes.
and what your purpose is here on this
Yes.
earth. And because of that, you try your best to avoid the whole subject.
Mm-hmm.
Burying it in what? Drugs, burying it in church, burying it in your job,
In
burying it
somebody
in
else.
kids, burying another woman. You're burying all of that because you don't want to deal with who are you?
Yes.
Where's my
Yes.
authentic self?
And I think some of that comes down to what if I don't like me?
Oh, yeah.
You know? And so if there's that possibility that I'm not going to like me, then I will have to admit that that's the reason why you don't like me or other people don't like me.
Mm-hmm.
And so rather than going down that road, I'll just evade the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, I will evade any of those touchy subjects that may lead me into having to face that, lead me into having to deal with that. It's not worth it.
We got it's about almost 10 minutes left, but I think we've probably
we've
got about 7 minutes left. So I mean, still, if someone wants to say something, don't let us do all the talking. Hey, hopefully you're enjoying it too at the same time. But if you want to, paste something up or text something up, since we are live, that what you feel about this subject, please do it, because this is going to be more than one. This is not going to be the last of this, because this is so important. We just know it is when it comes to our relationships. I say one of the apocalyptic horse, if you may want to call it. I'm not even saying it right, but is
the fifth horseman.
Fifth horseman, if you may want to,
because it was what, the four horsemen of the apocalypse.
Yeah,
or something like that.
Where in a relationship, one of them is avoiding.
Yeah,
it is. That is one of them. Evasion. It is from the standpoint of I don't talk, I don't really connect, I run. And we're going to move on, because we're going to be talking about that real soon in detail.
Yeah.
So
but we also need to, instead of running through this,
Mhm.
we need to really take our time
Mhm.
and hopefully get more people to understand, go
Well,
slow enough for people to
they won't be
understand.
able to get it this time because
No, no, no,
we're
no.
about over.
I
But
know that.
next time around, they
And
can.
exactly, but it's probably going to be a few next times around on this,
Exactly.
because
Exactly.
this is very important. As we were researching this and working on it.
Are you trying to say I'm trying to avoid this and keep on going?
No, no, I'm just letting everybody, because you just said that we weren't going to.
Oh, okay.
I'm seconding what you
Maybe I
said.
was trying to move
No,
forward, knowing we really can't. And I thought you also was going to
I was
say, I thought you were going to actually say the other word that we forgot. That the avoiding really is set on the foundation of emotional, not being
yes,
emotionally what?
exactly. Available.
Yeah, that's what we're
Yeah.
really talking about. You're
Yes.
not being emotionally available.
Mhm.
So let's not be vague about this
Right.
now. Though we were moving to that, we're
Mhm.
talking about you're being emotionally not available in a
Mhm.
relationship.
Yes.
You're keeping all the emotions that have to do with who you are, what you are, even if it's that authentic self of
Right.
you, you
Right.
are holding that back in your
Mhm.
relationship,
Yeah.
and you're not being available. Yeah,
Exactly. And I think that's probably a good place to start next time, where we can delve deep into that, because
because there are signs.
and keep in mind that
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I just feel like
Mm-hmm.
it's bigger than what it looks like on the surface.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to relationships, this whole attitude of being emotionally present, being emotionally in the moment when you really aren't, is something that we really need to look at. We need to take a deep look at.
Which we are.
Yeah.
You
And
just
so,
you got to pull all the energy to this point.
no, no,
But
I was trying to.
I know I know that you are, because
Yeah,
that is a strong energy point for you
exactly.
that you know you need to
Exactly.
work on
Oh yeah.
is
Yeah.
this area, so I
Mhm.
can understand the reason why you want us to take time with it and to
Yeah.
digest it a lot more
Mhm.
and get others to have that same kind of understanding and feeling,
Right.
and then look at some ways how they can move past that. We know there's a lot of people who are listening to us right now who are emotionally unavailable in a relationship.
Mhm.
They are there physically, but they
Yes.
are no place there inside. They're
Yeah.
like the lights on and nobody's home.
Exactly.
And they've been not that way in a relationship for years. It could have
Right.
been a man, it could be a woman,
Mhm.
and they've been that way for years. And they figure this is the only way this relationship is always going to be.
Mhm.
It's not going to change. So what can I do? But they might be listening to this right now. And by listening to this right now, they might say, wow, there is some kind of hope. There is a remedy. I don't have to keep on this toxic side that's in this relationship, because that toxicity, which we're talking about, it not only affects that other person that you are holding things back or running from,
Mhm.
but it also, remember we talked about this,
Right.
it also affects who?
You.
You.
And
You know you
yes.
don't feel good.
Yes. And any innocent bystander who might be there, as in the children.
Yes.
Everybody gets affected by your infection, basically, is the what it comes down to. And so it's very important that we really break it down and see if we can come to um some some really particular understanding of this.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's very important, even if it's only one little piece. If you can open up one thing from this, it's going to be a good step in the right direction.
Well, I hope as we talk, continue in this, that you will present your testimonies in life that you know that you have went through and are still going through.
Yes.
Again, some of life lessons that we learn are through the lessons that we learn through life.
Exactly. Exactly.
It could help someone else that's out there.
Right.
God knows there's some other concerns that I need to deal with, and we'll talk about.
Hmm.
This is not one of them. Really, I don't avoid too many things. We might be talking about some of the things that you should try to avoid from that particular. Hey, one of them is our producer is telling me that we have to not avoid the fact that we only have a certain amount of time to be able to talk and move on, because I think we have another show.
Yeah.
We're here Thursdays 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. right here on this beautiful station. We want you to make sure
ATR.
We want to make sure you come back and make sure you listen and enjoy yourself.
Yes.
Or if it's something that makes you say, ow, hey, we're not purposely trying to step on your toes. We are trying to give you some elements of blessed information that hopefully you could take with you and move on. Or like an old preacher said one time, put it in your deep freezer. Well, one day you may have to open up and use it for yourself or somebody else that you know. You want to end it?
And if somebody says it does say ouch,
Mhm.
put a Band-Aid on it and wait for it to heal.
Oh, I love that. That was good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. God bless. Ashe. Until next time.
Take care.